Mirg stands for Maritime Incident Response Groups. It is a unit of qualified firefighters equipped and trained to respond to an incident on board a vessel at sea. The Mirg unit role is to establish the scale of the incident and come up with a strategy where ensuring both passengers and crew safety is the priority, containing the fire and prevent the incident to grow. Once the situation is stabilized, the vessel may continue to its destination or to a safe location. Mirg unit consists on a command and assessment team and several strike teams using the European Union Civil Protection Mechanism framework. They can be transported to the vessel any moment by using Salvamento Marittimo transports. One of the main goals is the coordination between the different agencies participating. It is also an opportunity to train the Mirg operating procedure among the operational teams in a realistic environment. The exercise took place on March 2021 in Western Mediterranean Sea. This is Abel Matutes, a RoPax ferry with passengers, vehicles and cargo en route from Alcudia to Barcelona. This smart ship, kindly provided by the shipping company Balearia, is powered by liquefied natural gas. The scenario for the exercise involved a simulated electric vehicle fire located on one of the car decks with the additional risk of 2 tanks of liquefied natural gas on the upper deck. The simulation begins with the ship's master putting a distress call into Salvamento Marittimo Center, declaring there's a fire on board. Salvamento Marittimo assesses the call and then requests the assistance of a Mirg unit through the Fire and Rescue Control Center. Mirg team and Salvamento Marittimo process the information reported by the ship's master in an effective way and balance the risk of the incident using vessel triage color code method. Vessel triage allows an objective assessment by describing the severity of the key threats to the vessel, as maneuverability, hazmat danger, fire, flooding, blackout, or listing. The incident is scaled as yellow, so the vessel is currently safe, but there is a risk that the situation would get worse. The ship is boardable. Mirg unit gathers all the specialized equipment and is ready for deployment. The command team, made up of 2 members, is transported to the vessel via helicopter and winched on board. The officer in charge of the command team goes to the bridge, exchanges information with the ship's master, and checks the fire plan to begin to develop a joint plan. At the same time, the other member of the command team goes to the scenario and confirms there's an electrical vehicle burning on deck number 7 and declares there are 2 tanks of liquefied natural gas on the upper deck. A strategy is proposed by both Mirg command team and Salvamento Marittimo. The master of the vessel approves the plan and reports an evacuation route in the event of an emergency. Meanwhile, at the port, there's a holding area with a support officer dealing with all the communications and logging every single firefighter during deployment. Now the 3 Mirg strike teams are ready for approaching. 2 of the strike teams board the vessel from ship to ship using Salvamento Marittimo rescue boats. The other strike team is loaded on the helicopter and landed on deck. Once the Mirg teams are on board the vessel, it is vital that every firefighter logs his ID, location, role, and exact time of entry on an embarkation board. All Mirg members must be informed which the escape route would be if an emergency evacuation of the vessel might be required. The escape route is marked with a LED strip light, which can be seen in dark or smoke-filled areas. Two of the strike teams, located at deck number 7, use water lines and fan sprays to cover the bulkheads next to the burning car with a fan water spray in order to keep the structure of the ship cold and reducing the impact of the fire. Especially on the upper bulkhead, which reaches up to 300 degrees. Mirg team monitors this critical bulkhead with a thermal imaging camera. They are also ready if a fuel spill may happen. There is another strike team on the upper deck cooling the liquefied natural gas tanks and monitoring pressure and temperature. Now the electrical vehicle fire is decreasing its intensity on car deck number 7. The Mirg team is ready to cover the car with a fire blanket. Since the lithium-ion batteries do not respond to traditional fire extinguishers, this fire blanket contains the fire, reducing the risk of spreading. The situation is stabilized. The officer in charge of the Mirg unit and Salvamento Marittimo scale the incident as green. The vessel receives the authorization to enter Port of Barcelona. The support officer in the holding area does an information handover with the land-based Barcelona firefighters. Barcelona firefighters deploy in the port area. The vessel arrives at the port with the fire contained by the Mirg unit. When the ferry is docked, Barcelona firefighters embark the ship, meet the Mirg command team on board, and then take over the lead. Now it is time for Mirg to go back to base. The exercise concludes successfully. The goals have been achieved, identifying both equipment and communication need to improvement, and trusting training among the different agencies is the best way for developing the operational skills.